This is the smooth version. Welcome to Opinions and Beer.
Welcome.
We're your hosts, Adam and Eamon.
Hey, I'm Eamon. How you doing?
And be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook page. We've got all these things. We are everywhere.
Yeah, we've got a lot of bases covered, but we really need to boost that follower base on
To attract more.
yeah, on a couple of those pages.
Because it's you guys, I know you're listening, but you guys not
Yeah, we know you're on the other side of this. You better help us out.
You guys not following our Twitter may have cost us an interview
Oh my god.
with the Spawn creator.
We don't really I mean, like, what do we got? We got opinions, and then we got beer. And you'd be amazed at how many people just aren't as interested in beer as we are. But, you know, so that's why, like, most people can relate on the whole opinions aspect. That's why we've been sticking to, like, interviews and stuff like that. It's been going pretty well, so we're going to keep doing it.
Hell yeah. And speaking of beer and our opinions, we've got today's beer of the day. It is Buffalo Bayou Brewing Company's German chocolate cake. It is a 2018 bottled December 2018 bottled release. It is 7.6% in alcohol by volume. Looking good. German chocolate cake.
Yeah, Buffalo Bayou Brewing Company. One of the really cool things about this, whenever we were choosing some beers to taste, we decided to pick this one because they've got a couple of things locally around the Houston area. I think they're out of Houston, Texas. So they have a couple of these really nice looking craft beers. This one, I can tell you already, it smells delicious. Ooh, it's looking pretty good.
So it does look good. Let's go ahead and try this beer.
That's interesting.
Definitely a lighter chocolate. That light chocolate. I don't know. I say light chocolate.
Does German chocolate, does that have like coconut in it? Is that supposed to have coconut?
Maybe.
Well,
It tastes coconut.
I'm getting hints of that. I mean,
Does it say it has coconut in it?
yeah, it's
Oh yes, coconut flavor.
I think that was
So the coconut is definitely what is coming out of this.
so you're getting a bit of that. You're tasting, honestly, yeah, it's kind of like sweet and creamy, almost like a buttery flavor.
Buttery flavor of coconut.
Buttery flavored stout is essentially what it is. Buttery coconut. I'm liking it. I think that it's not very strong. It's what is this?
7.6.
7.6. Yeah. So I mean, it's not going to get you like just blitzed out of your mind. But I think
Some people it will.
Yeah. Well, we've been trying a lot of those, like, 10 plus percentages. Like, I'm getting to that point where I feel like, I'm almost drinking liquor whenever you're drinking beer. It's really, really cool. I'm liking this one though. It's not too bad. Well, what kind of chocolate would you say is that? Is it more like milk chocolate or?
Yeah. I think I'm like a milkish chocolate. I think it's the coconut flavor that's really changing my thoughts on the chocolate.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it is dark chocolate. It just tastes light.
I want to say
because of
that
all
there's,
the
like,
other flavors. Because the vanilla is like there's a lot of other flavors in there that even if the chocolate is rich and dark, it's going to be hidden.
Yeah. I feel like if you let it sit for a bit, like the aftertaste, you kind of get, I don't know, it might be a placebo thing where I'm like forcing a dark chocolate taste in there, but I get it near the end. But yeah, mainly fucking coconut and butter.
What would you rate this beer? You know, I'd rate this a schoolroom Matilda's principal being thrown out a window.
That's really good. That's really good. Sorry, I got really excited there. Birthday. It's gonna be like I don't know, like 11th. I'm gonna give it an 11th birthday.
11th birthday. Yeah. We'll be moving on to Jenna Suru. She's a French director. She's from Paris. That's right. She's Skyping into us all the way from Paris. So let's go ahead and Skype on over.
So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and try to get things started, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're already rolling.
Yeah, we're rolling.
Let's keep it going. But I mean, we can talk about whatever.
So
You just want to talk about crime rates all over the place.
Right now we're speaking with Jenna Suru, correct?
Exactly, precisely.
That's
me.
Okay.
Jenna Suru. She is a talented director. She reached out to us. I guess she met Dom Lenore.
Oh, Dom Lenore.
And she was a panelist on one of his Make Your Film program thing they're doing.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, exactly. We run in London. That was amazing. Yeah, it was really inspiring. End of January. Yeah.
What did they do there?
Actually, it was the very first panel of the Make Your Film event, and Dom was here with Giles. We had a great audience, also inspiring filmmakers, Finn, Adam, Matt. It was really a great night. Yeah, we discussed filmmaking and the process of making a film happen. So I talked about L'Âge d'Or, my debut feature film, which is a period drama.
Yeah, you said that, and it takes place in both France and the USA.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, both countries in the 60s and in 1970. We had such a great team. I'm so thankful. It's a period drama about two artists trying to change the world with art and music.
Yeah, and that's a very interesting time to choose as well. That was quite an expansive era.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Definitely, like, it's such an inspiring era of the 60s, right after the two world wars. That so much happened then, and it was quite a tough time actually with the Vietnam War too. In Paris, we all know the riots that happened in May '68, and from all the people I've interviewed and all those research I've made, I've really understood that people were really longing for change. And so the film is about this Franco-American producer that flees the Vietnam War from the US. He goes to Paris in his mother's footsteps, and he meets this French actress that I'm being in the film. I'm lead acting in it too. And together they decide to embark on an artistic project to bring change in this world that just doesn't work for them.
Did you write this one as well?
Yeah. I wrote it after a lot of research through that times. I interviewed so many people. It's so inspiring to hear about the people that lived at the time. Just to hear that everything was so different, like no phone. Obviously, the time was different. People will appreciate a lot the music too at the times. Only great artists like the Beatles or the Stones or the Who, Jimmy Reed, Berry, all those.
Just the best.
The best. What
the best.
So what drew you? What initially drew you to write about this era, and what really brought you there?
What really brought me there is that I feel amazed by the artists at the time that really did bring change. My first inspiration is that basically today when you wake up, you turn on the TV or you read the news and you just listen to all those crazy things happening in the world, that there are so much we want to change. There is so much I want to change. And I really found a lot of inspiration for that times when after the two world wars, people were so longing for change. They were like, okay, all those great inventions that just happened are amazing, but this time we're just using it not just for war. We're going to make a different world. I also feel very inspired by Saint-Tropez. I don't know if you heard about Saint-Tropez, this village in the south of France that's now very, very famous for holidays, and it's an incredible place. What most people should know is that in the 60s, it was this village also where so many artists would go to find inspiration from all over the world. All the greatest ones, really, again, all of the above, like the Stones, all those artists from literature from all over the world. They would flee there to find inspiration. And the film is about them, and it's a tribute to them and this village called Saint-Tropez.
Okay, so it's like an epicenter of culture where everyone got together and discussed all the different types of art and whatnot around that time period.
Absolutely, and still now I believe it's just at the time it's such a magical place because you might have heard of Brigitte Bardot, all those artists that would go there, and this fishing harbor just became so famous because it's such an inspiring place. Like even me as an artist when I first got there, and even today, I just it's so incredible just walking along how inspired you feel, and I think they did an amazing job at keeping that spirit of artists and of pushing artists and making a change really. So I mean, it's definitely a place to go to find inspiration, just like Paris and LA. The movie really is also a tribute to those cities that inspired me, like Los Angeles and Paris. Saint-Tropez is just this very special place.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's very interesting. That's really cool.
Now, your film is being released by what is this? Belly Pop Films. Belly Echo.
Belly Pop Film, yes, thank you.
Okay.
How'd you
film as the producer? It's my feature film, my French feature film company I opened about 4 years ago. Yeah, all French. But yeah, like we have such an amazing team on board. I just can't wait just to complete it and show it around. It's a very important message to the world right now, I feel, and this is why everyone behind the movie, the production team, all the departments, everyone, we are very looking forward to showing it and spreading the world of change.
So you're producing as well. You're pretty much doing most of everything yourself almost.
Yeah, true. I directed, I lead acted, and I wore many hats. But I feel very thankful, and I really want to underline that because I had the best talents on board, really, like my production team, production coordinator, the actors, the music, the partners. It's just felt incredible. Like we have such an amazing soundtrack, and all those partners, we shot in more than 35 exceptional locations. And believe me or not, but I really only got my first choices. We shot, for instance, in Paris near the Eiffel Tower. We shot there in this incredible period restaurant, where we shot La Vie en Rose with Marion Cotillard. We closed the bridge in Paris, like one of the biggest bridges in Paris. In Saint-Tropez, we shot where they shot God Created Women with Brigitte Bardot on the beaches and this incredible bar on the harbor. Like we really were very lucky. We even shot in a real station and with a real train from the 60s. It was really exciting, and just it was very important for me also as a director because I wanted the period to look very authentic. So with the different heads of department, we worked a lot to make that happen, and they did an incredible job with all their talents and inspiration to really pull that magic. And it was just incredible to see all that get together and make that period look authentic, because obviously like my biggest validation is the people that lived at the time and really can sell. But with my vision, yeah, definitely, like this is how it was at the time. It was really important for me, but every detail was very precise.
So, how have you been getting feedback from people of that time era, and what's like some of their opinions towards it? You sound pretty positive about that. You're getting positive reactions mainly.
Oh, absolutely. I did so much, like the movie was backed by so much preparation. So even before shooting, I knew everything was very, very precise. Obviously all the cars and the locations and the hair and the makeup, the way you act, also as an actor, as actors, you would think differently at the time, you would live differently, and so it was so important to really get that inspiration. And definitely I did so much research and interviewed people who had lived back in the time, love stories or even war or anything, so I could understand how you would think at the time in the 60s. And definitely the biggest validation is when, for instance, I would show a picture of our set to someone who lived in the 60s, and it's an immediate reaction. It's like, oh my god, it reminds me of back then. It's so magical. Yeah.
That's very unique. Very unique. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. And this is your first feature?
first feature film as a director, yes. Great
Yeah,
ambition, and I feel very thankful. Yeah, very ambitious project.
yeah, it's huge. I mean, that's really big, especially because some people they don't even get half of that. That's a big project to take.
Yeah.
Was it hard? Was that? I mean, was that a hard transition to just jump feet first into something big like this?
Oh, absolutely. I think it was definitely a big transition, and this is what I wanted. I wanted it to be very ambitious. I wanted my first my first feature film to be a period drama and be like as big, because definitely it was kind of a step. And the only reason why it all happened was because it was backed by, again, a lot of preparation, and really like people put so much passion behind it. Like everyone has been incredible. The actors. Like the music we have, all the locations, again, people in Saint-Tropez, Paris have been so helpful. And it's only because of all this preparation we did at the beginning that during the shoot, it really clicked. It really clicked. Everything would come together. So with the cars, the hair, the makeup, the lights, everything really, like the acting, everything was just magical, and it really worked together. So I feel very, very thankful for that, and that it worked. And yeah, with my amazing team and the partners, it was just magical, really.
Okay. So in your own words, how would you describe your journey to the point that you are right now? Like, what's your past? What have you done in the past? And what do you think has helped you the most getting to the point to where you are right now?
Oh, wow. Well, I started acting in Paris when I was 8. And I think I've always been in love with movies and filmmaking, really. It's really interesting when people ask me, like, how was it at the beginning? It's really hard to remember, because I feel like I've always really been passionate by filmmaking. So it started in Paris when I was 8, and I studied stage acting. I think one definitely of the biggest things that happened to me at the beginning is when I went to LA, Los Angeles, and learned about acting. Had the very best teachers teach me not only about acting, but also, marketing yourself, directing, producing, hair and makeup, like everything you need to know from an actor's perspective, but not only. And that was really, I think it was really the time when I felt, geez, this is exactly what I want to do. I just feel about directing and acting, like it really become mature enough so I could say, okay, this is my final decision. So definitely Los Angeles is very important to me. And also, when I opened my company, Belle Epoque Film is a French feature film company. So we produce feature films. And I opened it when I was actually living in London. And the incredible artists I've met there, we mentioned Dom and Giles. There are so many amazing filmmakers in London. I feel very, very thankful that I've lived there for 2 years and learned so much about the different techniques of indie filmmaking and how you can make it work. And it was just really, really inspiring. So definitely, I like to believe that those cities, all of them really helped me tremendously to become who I am right now.
That's
that was
that's
really
a lot. That's good.
Yeah. That's a really good summary. Thank you.
I wish I could reply in French, because I took 5 years of French, and I don't remember a lack of it.
Wow, that's a
I think just say we.
No,
what can you say?
I can't say
try.
nothing. I can only all I remember is Les Miserables, and that's about it.
I have a few curse words in it.
Oh my goodness! But now you.
Curse words are. Can you understand French at least? Yes.
Oh, once upon a time, like when I first left school, I could understand French, but I think it's it's faded. But I'm so disappointed in myself. I wish I would have kept that class in my brain.
Yeah,
but,
we're right on the border of Louisiana, so we get a lot.
Now you realize French is
half-ass French.
Yeah.
You get a bunch of weird slang over here. They say like perfume is like foo-foo juice and stuff like that.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
That is true. That is like a
no.
It's like a weird like a Southern French twang.
Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting.
But yeah, but you said
French
you
is so beautiful. That's amazing. You've learned it.
you said that you went to Los Angeles. Did I believe? Correct me if I'm wrong. You were a production assistant for some TV shows there?
Oh, definitely. That's true. That's true. I've learned so much through that, and also through learning at school, acting. I really had the best teacher. So definitely, like Los Angeles is incredible. It's like it's such an inspiring city. Really, like so many talented people are there, and just I learned a lot from there. So yeah, definitely, Los Angeles is very important to me as an artist and a person.
Sorry, we had a spill.
Yeah, that happens. We drink a lot of beer, so.
Yeah, I've heard that.
We have
I don't
accidents.
have apple juice, but I'll cheer. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. We have a lot of accidents while recording, and so we're constantly having to clean up stuff while we.
Oh my God!
It's amazing.
And then we have to edit it out.
I can't wait. One of these days, we're going to do a live showing, and it's just going to be a
Yes.
flat out mess. It's going to be awesome.
That would be fun.
Yeah, like he just what took us so long to get on the call was that he spilt coffee everywhere. And so
Okay, so coffee, beer, like what else is in there?
just spilling stuff. So
This is a very professional podcast. I just want to let you.
but so tell us about some of these shorts you did. What's some of your favorite past shorts you've produced?
I think I think the shorts for which I've learned the most really were the very first one I've directed when I was in Paris. When I was in London, I also co-produced a short called The Bigger Picture, which was actually really exciting because it was shot on film. So that's quite an experience. That just looks incredible. With starring Robert Sheehan, that's now in the Umbrella Academy. By the way, I watched the first episode a couple of days ago. It's incredible. I loved it. And Rosie Day, who's an amazing actress. So that was when I was in London. But again, really like all the shoots I was on in Los Angeles and London, but also Paris, really inspired me. To make L'Âge d'Or feature film happen, we actually did a test shoot, which looks a little bit like a short film, but it was definitely a test to make L'Âge d'Or happen. This is when we tested some of the material and a lot of the locations in Paris, and it just was so inspiring to see like just to shoot in Paris. Really, shooting in Paris is always like a dream, and it really helped our preparation for the feature.
Is there a way to see this short film or this test footage?
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I haven't thought about it actually. It really looks more like a test shoot, but definitely I should think about it. What really is incredible is that this test shoot was mostly to test the story. Also, I wanted to make sure that the storyline was very clear in the feature, and I was very thankful that it worked beautifully. Some of the locations we didn't keep, but most of the locations we kept just because they looked incredible. So yeah, definitely I should think about that. But most of the locations you can actually see in the feature film. They're just incredible.
When is that supposed to be released?
Oh, well, I hope this year. Very soon. We are just touching up a couple of things, but yeah, very, very soon it will be finished, and definitely this year. The best way really to be updated is to follow us on social media. I'm sure everyone is on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, so if you follow L'Âge d'Or Film, there will be news coming up very soon. So yeah, it's really
very nice.
Thank you for asking. Yeah.
Do you have any now? Obviously, as filmmakers, you have to constantly have something in the back burner. Do you have future projects that you are looking at, or
anything else?
Absolutely, absolutely, definitely. I'm actually now working on a comedy script that I'm writing. So it's definitely very different genre. But definitely, even if I want to make sure first that L'Âge d'Or just gets the best release possible, definitely thinking about the next projects. There are so many talented people I want to work with. I really want to work with the most talented persons. And I can't wait for them to see the film and hopefully find a connection so we can work together. But definitely with some people I know in Los Angeles, London, and Paris, we have some projects coming together. But yes, definitely my coming script will be comedy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right. I love comedy. Like there is some comedy in the film, and I think it worked quite well. And it's just so exciting, like comedy is so powerful. So yeah, obviously we're always thinking about the next project. So thank you so much for asking about that.
It's like jovial. Yeah, it's always fun.
Now you've done obviously a lot more producing than anything, correct?
I think in the past, I really wanted not only producing, but also distributing. I've learned a lot about distributing. I was very lucky. I could work at the two top agents in France in films, so which are Gaumont and SND, M6 Group. So I've learned a lot about that, and also producing. So definitely, but also really acting quite a bit, just because I started so early. And it really helped me to get into directing. But definitely producing is extremely important. Yeah. So this is why I opened my company, Belle Epoque Film.
To some of the people out there that are less knowledgeable about films and the background on films, could you tell them what exactly, as a producer, you do?
Oh, absolutely. You're right to ask, because there are so many different producers, really. I guess for producing, I've done both major sides. I would say the first major side would be more executive producer or / let's say financing. And the second one would be line producing, which is more on hand. In French, we call it production executive. So that's a bit confusing, between the English. But definitely I've done both. So there are two major sides. You would have like thousands of different producers, but definitely there's more like a producer who is more early stage and puts the budget together, puts the finance together. And secondly, the producers that make the shoot happen, organize everything. It could be the same person, but usually you would have several producers attached to a project. Yeah.
Yeah, and I see that you're going to be a line producer for Cowboys Can Fly. What's that about?
Oh, thank you for asking. Yeah, Cowboys Can Fly is actually a feature film that is being directed by Giles. So it's a small world, like it's incredible.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and what's even more incredible is that he was attached to the project as a director, but I actually got to meet him through Dom. So we actually met through two different people. But yeah, Cowboys Can Fly, it's an exciting feature film that we hope to be shooting next summer, I believe. So working on that to have it together. And I definitely hope it will be put together very soon, because it's a very, very beautiful story. And it's an important story for today too. So yeah, that's in the pipeline for sure. Hopefully shooting very soon.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. I mean, I say it looks good, but it sounds funny. Is it
it's more, I think it's definitely more of a drama.
Okay, no, I clicked on it. It's definitely a drama.
Yeah. It's definitely a drama.
Definitely a drama. My bad.
We have an actor.
Sorry, Giles.
No, it's okay. You're right to ask. For now, we have a great actor attached to the project who was in Fantastic Beasts. Joshua, he is incredible. He's really talented. So yeah, definitely a beautiful drama. I just can't wait for it to be put together. So that's definitely in the next projects coming up.
Yeah, anytime we see cowboys fly around here, it's
right.
You're right. Yeah. My French teacher, she told me that every time she went to France, they would be like, "Oh yeah, cowboy, you're from Texas, cowboy."
Oh my God, really?
Yes, that's what she said. She said they would always say cowboy to her.
We just need to embrace the stereotype.
Embrace the stereotype. Yeah, go there with a cowboy hat.
With my 6-shooter.
Because everyone has their different experiences.
Cowboys are exciting, aren't they?
Yeah.
Especially when they're flying.
So if exactly. You're talking to someone that might be starting out in filmmaking and they're trying to build their craft, what would some advice you would give them to get to a level where you are at now? Like what's some stuff you could tell them?
I would definitely advise to get on any shoot they can. Like at the beginning, even if it's just PA, or even if it's just bringing coffee, or even if it's helping in any way you can, I think it's extremely important to get your hands on the job and actually learn. Definitely get on different shoots. Also try to, especially if you're a filmmaker and you want to become a filmmaker or director or producer, it's really important to know like everything that is behind a movie. Like for instance, one of the first things that I've done when I wanted to learn about filmmaking was to work at Panavision, because I learned a lot about distribution and production, but I also wanted to know everything about the material. So at Panavision, I would get my hands on every camera. So in Panavision Paris, they've been incredible because they really taught me a lot and helped me do that. I really wanted to know everything about the material. Same, like I learned so much about hair and makeup and the different departments, because everyone in the movie is so important. I would say definitely at the beginning, you need to learn about everyone. Like you need to meet anyone that is part of a cast, crew, and production team, so you can really learn about everyone's job. And maybe it will also help you to discover what you're most passionate and talented about. But definitely, by all means, you need to learn. So I would definitely advise that.
Okay, since you've actually done quite a bit just yourself, what would you say your favorite part or role that you've taken thus far?
Definitely directing this film. This film is so important. It really felt special. I was lucky enough to work with incredible people in Los Angeles, London, and Paris. I think this film just was special because of the incredible amount of amazing partners we got. Like, not only the locations, but all our amazing partners for costumes, everything really, the makeup, the production team, like was backed by so many partners. And even when we shot, like, and everything was clicked together, it was so incredible because I jumped in as an actor, obviously, and jumping in this world, acting in those incredible places with the rest of the cast just felt really, really special. It was like jumping in a new world. And I feel privileged that in a way, even if I'm young and I haven't lived back then in the time, I kind of felt how it felt because we just recreated all of this. It was a big challenge and it felt really special. So I feel really privileged for that.
Yeah, you were able to appreciate it a little bit better after that whole experience. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. It's a very important time, and I feel very happy that my big challenge was to recreate it, because I love history, and history is so important. And knowing about how it was at the time and how Saint-Tropez was at the time, it was never made before, and it's so important. So I feel very, very thankful that with the rest of the team I could accomplish that, and it's a big achievement, and it just felt and still feels incredible.
Speaking of challenges, what would you say would be the biggest challenge you had while working on the film, or the biggest frustration you may have run across?
Well, definitely, I think the biggest challenge was to make a period drama happen. Because, like, there are a lot of things you can get away with on modern shoots. Like, for instance, maybe the makeup you can compromise with, or maybe some shots you can compromise with. And if last minute, there is something that happened, you can just turn the camera and, oh, let's shoot in this street. This is something that I did see on modern shoots, because there are things you can compromise with. With a period drama, there are not so many things you can compromise with at all. If the hair is not right, or if there is something in the frame that does not look exactly period, people won't believe it, and especially people that actually lived in the time. So I definitely feel it was the biggest challenge. Like, for instance, we shot this incredible, beautiful scene with dancing. So there were quite a few extras, because dancing was a very big thing at the time, especially in Saint-Tropez. People will dance on this beautiful music. And so I got the very best dancers and the most incredible place right on the harbor of Saint-Tropez. I was a bit worried, because sometimes, obviously now, there are those big yachts that park in front of the bar, like on the harbor. And just to tell you how magical that shoot was, we started early in the morning and there was no boat at all. So I could actually shoot the the harbor, and we could see the harbor with no yacht. It looked so period. So this is actually what you see in the film. And when I called the last cut, and it was a wrap for the day, this huge boat, this huge boat parked. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, this, you know what I mean? It's
I hope that wasn't in the shot. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was not in the shot because it was a wrap, but it just felt so special because it's kind of these things like, I don't know if it's destiny or if it's coincidence, but it feels so weird, You're like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you for parking just now. It just is incredible.
Those damn yacht people.
Damn yacht people. Oh, Lord. That's pretty funny.
Thank you, people. Yeah, no, honestly, just to tell you how magical it was and how special it was, this is the kind of things that happen all the time. So I feel very thankful for that.
No? Huh? What? Sorry, I'm looking at Eamon.
Oh, okay.
I thought he had he acted like he had a question, and he just kind of zoned out.
I'm sorry. I'm still caught up on the yacht thing. Everybody's got yachts.
Everybody's got yachts.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
Not everybody has
my
yachts.
garden right
Okay.
He's
Not
jealous of
everybody,
everyone's
right?
yachts. Yeah, he's jealous of all the yachts. He's having
I just got over the thought process of us being able to fly with the Cowboys Can't Fly thing. Now you're telling me there's yachts everywhere.
Oh, you're still there. Okay.
He's still there.
Looks like to start to pay. Join me, guys.
So, you were able to pull a lot from the 1960s period as far as music as well. What bands were you trying to use on the soundtrack?
Sorry, can you repeat that for me? What bands you mean?
Yeah, what were some of the bands
Oh.
and musicians that you used from that time?
Oh, I feel really inspired by so many bands at the time. Definitely the Stones. So I was very lucky we got a song from them. Chuck Berry, Jimmy Reed. I love the Beatles. So yeah. I mean, all those people. We got the most incredible songs. I can't reveal the name of the songs, but I've just revealed you the names of the artists. So yes.
So there's
fine,
no
fine.
there's no Nickelback on this one.
Oh, what is that?
She probably doesn't know who Nickelback
Oh,
is.
I'm sorry. That's an American.
Nickelback
That's an
is
American joke.
No, hey, we don't claim them. Nickelback is Canadian.
Oh no, that's not. That's an American joke. It's an American joke about Canadians.
Okay.
Canadians have French people.
Yeah,
Half
a
France.
huge portion of Canada is French.
Canada's half France.
Well, okay, so you might know of Nickelback through that, but she's not reacting to it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I know that she doesn't know that.
I don't know. I can't tell anymore. No, I see what you mean, but definitely like the Stones, the Beatles. The Beatles, actually, we talk a lot about them directly in the film. Angèle, the character I am in the movie, talks a lot about them because they really were an inspiration. Like I really admire the Beatles, not only for their music, but just as an example of how, as an artist, you can bring change and how they did bring change at the times. Just knowing that when they were touring in America, the Beatles refused to stage a concert if people would separate Black people and Caucasians. I mean, just something like this. It's because of every little thing like this that slowly you get to a better world. And I really admire them because they really stepped in and made the right thing. So I think it's extremely important. This is why I want to encourage us for today.
Tensions between races and things was a very huge issue through that time. It's so strange because you hear so much about, in the early 70s and whatnot, it being about peace and love and all that. And then just all of this very intense racial backlash between cultures and whatnot all throughout the 60s. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah, it really is interesting. I think this is also why it's important to remember. And even not just mentioning May 68, the riots in Paris in May 68, but also Woodstock. Like all those events really show that people were longing for change. And I feel amazed by those artists at the time that stepped in and took that responsibility. It was so very needed.
Did you watch the American Oscars?
Yes. Oh, that was
Were you,
great. I loved the ceremony. I watched most of it, I believe. Yeah.
were you because there's actually right now there's a lot of controversy right now on the I say controversy. There's a big divide on the winner, like usual. I think the Green Book won. Well, the Green Book won best film.
Okay.
And I think they all wanted Black Klansman to win.
They wanted Black Klansman to win Best Film?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen either of the films, so I can't comment.
Oh, well, I'm just saying there's a big divide on it.
Well, what was Green Room about?
The Green Book.
Oh, Green Book. Whatever. What was the Green Book about?
The Green Book was like.
Is it about a green book?
No, it was like Driving Miss Daisy, but.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I don't know how I feel about that, but
no, I was just trying to bring up some modern news.
Like great.
That's what everyone's talking about. I didn't know if we were talking about,
I mean, that's interesting.
Well, no, because we're talking about race relations, and the big thing was that they felt like the Green Book. They feel like the
Green Book is more of a race baity type.
No, that it wasn't race baity enough.
It wasn't race baity enough.
Yeah,
and that's why they're like Black Klansmen.
Yes,
that's where it's at.
Yes.
Wow.
That's why they're mad.
It's so strange where like everybody's current mindset is on this issue.
Because they're mad because the movie showed that the black guy and the white guy become friends at the end.
And there was something wrong with that?
Because apparently it doesn't reflect true life.
Jeez.
Wow. That's a bold statement.
Oh no. That's terrible.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, things over here are a mess right now. People have no idea what they're talking about.
No, that's true. That's very true. I agree.
Yeah,
it's like,
and I think that kind of I feel like things that have been happening recently. That's why like period pieces like yours are such a big, influence on what needs to be shown to people nowadays, is because otherwise they're not going to know about some of the stuff that's gone on in the past, and they're essentially just going to, revolving everything over and over.
Exactly. This is why history and memory are so important. Just as you say, you need to sometimes, when you want to bring change, you need to get back to what was made before. What worked, what didn't work, and also hope, because I feel sometimes you can feel really desperate and be like, how can I make change happen? I feel like I'm no one, not a politician, I'm not rich, what can I do? And the movie is about those artists that were no one, but made a big change, and really felt sometimes desperate, but really were longing to bring change. And the movie really questions that, and which kind of sacrifices you're ready to make that happen. And as you mentioned, I think it's extremely important because many artists did actually achieve it back in the time.
Who's your favorite artist?
It's so incredible because I think some of my favorite artists are actually not filmmakers. It's really interesting that for my films, my writing, really, there are so many artists that inspire me that are more like from the literature world or from the music. I actually feel personally very inspired by music. Music inspires me so much. We talked about the Oscar. I absolutely loved Bohemian Rhapsody, obviously, and I was glad I think they took 5 awards with them, which is incredible because it's a pure drama and music is really important in it. And I had researched so much about Queen when I was actually researching for the movie, because even if they're more from the 70s, obviously it's also connected.
They were mad about that one too.
About what? Why? What were they mad about?
They were mad about Bohemian Rhapsody.
Why? Because Sacha Baron Cohen wasn't the lead?
I guess because they wanted Sacha Baron Cohen, but no, because they didn't dive into his personal life. They dived more into the band.
Oh, because they didn't dive into Freddie Mercury's personal life?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
people get upset about
Yeah,
everything.
I mean, I guess I understand
Everything,
he
yeah.
had a commanding presence, so I mean, I see how they would focus more on that side of it, but at the same time, the things that Freddie Mercury went through, I really, yeah, they probably should have focused more on that. I mean, I know that like Queen, his whole ordeal with Queen was obviously the biggest thing that anyone's ever seen, but like as someone who's had somebody that's had AIDS pass, like personally, I feel like that side of his life definitely should have been focused on a whole lot.
I love biopics. I think it's Brian May. I think I saw an interview of him and he was mentioning like there are so many biopics, there are so many stories you can make out of one person, and it was their take on it. And I personally really loved the movie, but it's true, like there are so many stories you can tell about one person. A film really is just a vision. For Large Door, I brought my vision based on the many research I've made and based on so many talented people that just went through this amazing, beautiful adventure with me. But it's true. Like I believe in the end, there are a lot of answers that are brought to how you can bring change in the film, but mainly the answers are in ourselves. So the movie really is just to question and kind of to try to see in you, to ask you what you would do. And I think that's the most important part.
That's probably the best answer I've ever heard about biopics.
Yeah, that was very
That's
well done.
probably the best.
Merci.
That's like, I don't think anybody has ever. I have never heard anybody take that angle on biopics. That like, yeah, there's multiple.
Yeah, like
That's just a
don't
fraction.
stress about
Yeah,
it.
don't stress. It's just a fraction of the story.
Yeah,
You can just make a. There could
there's
be
no
multiple
way that they
stories.
can include everything all in one.
Like
you know?
I'm gonna start using that. I'm stealing that from you, just so you know.
Exactly.
I'm stealing that. I'm gonna say that.
Just be sure to credit her.
Okay, I'll credit. I'll
Please.
quote you in the bottom,
So,
bottom right hand
excellent
corner.
filmmaker from Paris said once.
How cool does that sound? Yeah.
That could be used again. You could use that for the biopic on what was it, The Greatest Showman?
Yeah.
What was that?
Absolutely.
Barnum and Bailey, the circus.
Barnum. Oh, okay.
Barnum.
Yeah.
That argument could have used for that because they were upset that didn't show him torturing people and shit. So we like to
People
bring
are
up
strange. They want to see weird stuff.
we like to bring up modern news. I apologize.
Sorry about that, Jen.
Oh my god.
So
You need more beer. You need more beer, Adam.
I know.
I've got a couple over here. Do you need some?
I'll take one.
Okay. Yeah, here.
Thank you.
I'll go get that
Let's
other
do it.
IPA as well.
But yeah, we'll be honest with you. Our pop-up interviews are usually quite short, but we went ahead and canceled 2 of our other pop-ups, and so we're gonna try our so
we wanted to spend some extra time.
so we're trying our
be able
best.
to
We're
talk
gonna
about
spend as
this.
much time with you as possible. Because
So let me
Yeah.
let me take a couple steps back to something that we touched on at the beginning. You said you were a panelist for Dom and Giles Make Your Film. What was some of the things that you that focused on?
Oh, that panel was incredible. I think we mainly just focused about filmmaking and the various advice we would give. The Make Your event made by Giles and Dom is mainly to give tips and tricks to filmmakers that want to make their first, second, or third feature. So it was really inspiring to also listen to the filmmakers in the room, and we had such a great audience bouncing back with ideas about how, for instance, for me, we made Large Door happen. How did we work on distribution? How did we work on all the process, writing, producing, putting the crew together, putting the cast together, all the work that's been made, with the different heads of department. And it was very exciting to talk about Large Door because there's so much to talk about the movie. Everyone again, like there's been so much passion and talent behind the movie. So many people brought the very best of themselves. I feel very thankful for everyone in the cast, crew, production team, partners that really made it the beautiful artistic experience it is. It really is the best way we could pay tribute to all those artists back in the time who also gave the best of themselves and made so many sacrifices to actually change the world on their own scale. So that was a great event. Like, I think the second one is coming up very soon, if on the 5th of March in London again. And I just can't wait to hear it. The first event, so that that did happen end of January, is now the Filmmakers podcast. That is hosted by Giles, so you can actually listen to most of the talk if you want to go through it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. Podcasting is pretty hard.
It's not that bad.
No, I mean, it's not hard. It's not hard. It's just
It's not any worse than filmmaking.
You're doing well.
no. We're trying. I don't know if we're getting a lot of crazy guests. We got we just interviewed Michael Jai White. He's a big action actor over here, and then we interviewed James Marandino, the director of SLC Punk, which is a cult classic, and about to interview Jan Broberg next week.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a big.
I don't know if you know Jan Broberg, but
interview.
The documentary just launched on Netflix. She was abducted twice. It's actually a really sad.
It's called Abducted in Plain Sight.
It's a pretty sad story. It's just that
that's going to be coming up in a couple of days.
Yeah, in a couple of days.
Yeah. It's going to be very, very interesting.
So it's just crazy. We're just trying to build, get all these guests and get people on the show and really build from the ground up.
Yeah, but we still want to make sure that we're getting people from the base level who have worked their way up as well. That way we're getting both sides covered essentially, and then able to kind of help younger people or people just starting out in the filmmaking process as well.
Yeah, and thank you so much, you guys, for what you're doing. It's so important. Like you as you say, you give a voice to them, and it's extremely important. It's obviously you need to spread the word. So thank you so much.
Exactly, and the biggest thing is like the idea behind it was that we would have like one of these. That's why we kind of try to separate it up. Where like Thursdays we do kind of like the people who are having their first feature films, or the people that are maybe just starting and they just filmed their first short films or something like that. And then on Sundays, we usually bring in the people that are like on The View right now, or on The View and getting on, stuff like that. So that way,
absolutely.
That way, those downloads, I'm watching the statistics, and those downloads equate to someone discovering Don Lenore's film and going to Hulu and watching, his Winter Ridge film. You know what I mean? So I think that's just a really cool. It's really cool to watch that.
To be able to see it play out in live.
Yeah, it's really to see it play out. That when you get we do the Thursday shows, where we want to feature someone, then we do the Sunday shows, and that Sunday shows are supposed to, bring the audience to go and discover these new talents.
It's really really cool how the whole experience has evolved from whenever we first started. I mean, like neither of us thought in the slightest bit that we'd be talking to any well-versed anyone. We were just looking at like beer commercials.
Which brings me to and I'm trying to I try to make a point with all my rambling, but I'm just,
that's what the key is. I mean, you're supposed
to circle back.
I just try and keep it incoherent.
Yeah, to circle back. What would you say? What
would you say?
The length it took to build up to get to your feature film. How was that process, and how hard was it to really push yourself to get there?
You're saying from like A to B.
Yes, A to B.
Okay.
I would say I feel thankful that I've I've never wanted to give up. Like, definitely the movie, in a way, I've always been convinced it's such an important message. So what is great is that I've always felt like bringing every single day, bringing something more so I could make it happen. This is why also probably it was so magical. So definitely at the very beginning, you try to put your budget together, but not only, you have to think about distribution. So even when I wrote the film, I made sure that it was very attractive in a distribution point of view. Also, I would say definitely it's important to get the best cast and crew, and not only the best people, but the best composition of everyone. So what? Because obviously you're not just directing the actors and the DP and this person or this person. It really is the all of them coming together that must click. So it's really not just about the production coordinator or this actor. It really is about everyone. So I feel very thankful that with everyone, the production coordinator, the crew, the cast, all the heads of department, we really it really clicked together, because also it was backed by a lot of preparation. And again, the partners also were extremely important and were very supportive also during this preparation time, because in a period drama, again, there are so many details. Everything needs to be very thought through and very precise. If there is one thing that doesn't work, it really ruins the whole authenticity. And it was very important in my vision that really this authenticity would reflect on the screen, and that the audience would really feel that they are also in the 60s and they are living those times, and they are being Spas and Angel in the movies, and really questioning about changing the world and how hard it is, but how important it also is.
Would you say that, like, your skill that's come throughout the filmmaking process, would you say that that inner drive, is that something that you think that you've been born with and you have a gift, or it's something that can be learned? We asked Dom kind of a similar question.
Yeah, I think it's a very important question indeed. I've many times I've thought about that. I've always wondered where does it come from. I would say it's probably probably it's something you can have like in your inner side, but I think also it's from many people you learn from. For instance, I've always felt very driven, so I'm very thankful that I have this kind of skill in me. But I think also you're always much more confident when you're very prepared. The only reason why I've wanted to become a director, a feature film director, is for my passion. But not only for my passion, I've also worked on many different elements. Like as I mentioned, I've been working in distribution, I've been working in production, and not only in Europe, like London and France, and in the UK, more generally speaking, but also the US. And I've also been acting. So when I talk with an actor, I know what acting is about. When I talk with a hair or a makeup artist, I know what I'm talking about. When I talk with a production coordinator, obviously we do a lot together and everything is thought through. And definitely, again, because I've been producing, as you mentioned, in the past, I know what I'm talking about. And this is why I think also it gives me this drive, is because not only do I have this drive innerly speaking, but also I've been working on it in a way. And it's also because of all those elements that, today I feel confident and I can actually make it work.
Now, we live in a East Texas, where we don't have we live sort of east of Houston, and we don't have the same support system as maybe a Los Angeles or somewhere like that would have when it comes to films. Films are kind of looked down upon in our area. Just the idea of being able to achieve something like that.
Yeah, there's not like a support system.
Yeah,
in this area.
have you had a great support system throughout your process?
The movie, I mostly had it financed with private investors. So I feel extremely thankful, definitely, that we had support. Also from the partners. In France, you can also have some public fundings, and that didn't happen for this movie, but for some shorts in the UK, we did have some public fundings. So I would say, generally speaking, it's always very hard because there are so many movies trying to get made. But I would say what's important in that things happen in due time. And for me, what is very important is that those partners really help, and all the people that help, like it's extremely important. And this is what happened. So I would say we did get all the support we needed. We need all the support of the world to bring change. But not public funding this time. But I'm sure it will happen for the right project.
But
So,
I was thinking more of maybe of personal support.
Oh, you mean
Like family, like
people's attitudes?
Yeah, people's
towards you?
attitudes towards it, and
Oh, okay,
people like
okay.
the family support. I'm saying that family support in this area for entertainment is low.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
everybody thinks
if you're not
going
doing
to
like-
work,
Oh,
in
I
the
see what
plant,
you mean.
They think you're crazy.
Yeah, if you're not doing like a hard labor job, or if you're not going to the plants, then it's looked down upon to think that you can make it in
that's true.
filmmaking. But I didn't. So I was just wondering if you had a personal, like a family support system.
You know what's incredible is that this is one of the subjects that is directly addressed in the film. Because I know about that. I know that especially in some regions of this world, you don't get the family support. You don't get the personal support at all sometimes. And this is why it also makes it so hard. So the movie actually directly questions that. I would say, definitely, like people around me have been extremely supportive. This is also why, I feel so confident, but definitely support is important. I think, again, you really build this support with a lot of work, really. I could understand that, for instance, like if you wake up, you're 8-year-old and you tell your parents, I want to become an actor or I want to become a filmmaker. I can understand their concern though, because obviously it's extremely hard. And many, many times people ask me, do you think I should do that? People that are younger. And I say, really, if you want to do that, it really has to be the most passionate thing you're about. There should be nothing else you want to do, because it's true. It's extremely hard. And again, I can really understand the concern, because it's an extremely hard industry.
That's
There's
excellent
so many more
advice.
things to be handled. So exactly, but again, it's really is about how confident you are, how much you're ready to get into it. And I think this is also why the movie directly addresses that, because the movie addresses and questions you, the audience, about like how much sacrifice are you ready to make. And it's true, there are so many sacrifices you must make. Like you invest a lot of your time, of your money, of your passion, of your hopes. And if you really want to go that way, you need to make sure you're really into it and that you're really passionate about it. So I feel very thankful I have this passion in me too.
You're saying there's no get rich quick scheme?
No what? No scheme?
There's no get rich quick, like a cheat code, a pass.
No, I don't think so. I mean, for anyone.
She's saying that it's all hard work and
There's
dedication.
no can't I sign up for like the Illuminati somewhere? And
I don't know if there's.
I don't think so.
French
Like,
Illuminati.
my family is not originally from the film industry. I can imagine that if your family is from the film industry, it can make some things very much more easy, because you are directly in this world and you have already some of the connections you need. But I would say for anyone, it's very hard. Definitely, if it's not your background, it's not going to help. That's for sure. It just makes it harder, but I'm sure it's hard for everyone, really. So, yeah, it's important to support each other.
it is
Even more excellent advice. You're on top of your answers.
Yeah, you've been
Thank
good. You have some of the best answers so far.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, I'm glad. I want to be the best, so I'm glad you're saying that, guys. Thank you. You're amazing. Like, I wish I had some beers to cheer with you.
Hey,
Are there many? Is there fun French beers or parrot beers over there? I don't know.
I think they probably fit more wine.
Belgian beers. Is it Delirium? No, French people, they're more into wines. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah, they know
Delirium.
like wine.
More in Belgium. French wines are amazing. Yeah. So you guys, you should have wine next time we have an interview. You know,
Okay.
you need to drink
We'll
that
do
wine.
a special Winers episode.
Yeah, there we go.
Winer.
Make a special, you know, make a special one, opinions and wine podcast.
Oh
or
yes,
something.
opinions and wine.
There we go. We're gonna have to hurry up and copyright that real fast.
Copyright it real quick.
Very fast, yeah, before someone does it.
We're good. We're good.
Is there any topics you'd like to get to, Eamon?
Oh no, I think we've covered most everything.
Yeah, but this is our guest.
I know
We need to start having fun with our guests and not be all strict interviews.
Yeah,
We're always doing strict, these weird.
I guess we can just talk about random stuff with you, Jenna. So how is life in Paris? What drove you to start staying in that area?
Oh, Paris is incredible. You know, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Paris at all. It's such an inspiring city. So I feel very thankful I could start acting here. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to places like Saint-Michel, Montmartre, just walking around Paris, but it just feels incredible. It's a great place to be an artist. And so, yeah, it's been great, actually. Actually, right now, I was in Los Angeles last week, and when I came back here last week, it already was very sunny. It's extremely sunny at the moment in Paris, and it's February. That's great. It feels great. It's quite warm for February time. So yeah, it feels great to be here right now.
Well, it's kind of chilly in Texas.
It's honestly been one of the of the coldest Februaries that we've endured thus far.
So
it's very strange.
I don't know.
Strange. That's usually
I don't know.
something that we endure.
It's pulling on my heartstrings. I don't know whether or not to believe in climate change or not.
Yeah, right. I see what you mean.
Well, now they're saying that even the cooling is because of climate change as well. So,
okay.
So it's
no, but that was in the 90s.
That's why they stopped saying
global
warming, and they said climate change.
I'm sorry. We're about to get in some crazy talking right now, if that's okay with you.
That's fine.
In the 90s, they introduced global cooling, and they said we were going into a second ice age.
That's wrong because it was actually in like the 60s is when they were projecting that.
But they said it was going to happen in the 90s.
Had not heard about that.
So they talked about it in the 90s, and they said, or 60s, and
global,
they said in the 90s
global
that
cooling.
It was going to be.
Global cooling, and we had that big freeze one day.
You know, we did actually.
And then,
in the 90s, we did have a really big freeze.
One thing happened, and then guess what?
Really?
And then nothing else.
Wow.
Well, it was kind of cold again last year.
That's scary.
No, I'm just saying. And then they switched it to we're all gonna die by the sun.
The sun. Well,
emissions.
We live on a very strange planet. You know, like the likelihood of our existence at period is just like, it is so slim. It is so slim. So the fact that, like, I don't know, whenever people bring up climate change and things like that, it's like, I just kind of look at like the entire universe and it's like, dude, we shouldn't even be here.
My argument,
like, the fact, like, I don't think it makes.
My argument is Antarctica used to not have ice on it, so maybe it should melt.
Yeah, but then that'll release
let's not melt Antarctica.
Yeah, that'll release all the Then all the secret Nazis that are frozen there are going to be released.
What?
You haven't heard that there's secret Nazi bases in Antarctica? No, there's like some pretty big speculation that's like legit.
Oh my God!
Of course, that might be part of the whole flat Earth theory, but
do you believe any conspiracy theories?
I don't know. I more believe in science, to be honest. But you're right. I mean, climate change, it's a huge deal at the moment. I really hope things will get together. I love what the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation is doing at the moment to help fight against climate change. It's so important right now.
Yeah, if only we could talk China into doing it.
Oh, yeah. Well, change.
Yeah.
I mean, but they have said that I want to say within the next 20 years that China's supposed to get a lot better. About
but Alexandra Cortez said we're dying in 10.
And what? Dying in 10? What do you mean?
That the world's going to be dead in 10 years.
In 10 years, the world's going to be dead?
Yes, you just
That's
said
what
it.
she said?
She just said
So
on the
let's
news.
change it very fast.
Yeah.
Crazy.
10 years.
Well, I mean,
She said
that's
10,
probably accurate,
10
honestly.
years, unless we can spend.
I mean, you never know. Like a
100
fucking
trillion.
asteroid could come out of the sky and kill
I guess-
us all at any point in time.
No,
Maybe that's what she's relying. She's saying that
we've got
gonna be an
we've got
asteroid.
laser beams that will shoot the asteroids. I've seen it
No.
in Independence
don't.
Day. I've seen it in Armageddon.
I guess we should be asking you that. Do you think that the French have a bunch of secret high-tech lasers?
I have no idea. Out of my knowledge, I'm a filmmaker and I'm not an expert in lasers. I hope so.
Have you ever thought about making a Have you ever thought about making a
I should make a
science
movie
fiction
out of it.
film?
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, very French. With all the French tech and everything. Yeah, French technology and lasers.
That could be
I
fun.
hope we
You know,
do.
all the makeup and stuff. You could have like a big makeup team come in and make a bunch of like the aliens, and they're trying to take over the Eiffel Tower.
It'd probably be a much easier
Oh,
period
that'd be
piece to
exciting.
cover because you wouldn't have to really convince people of, that time frame. You could just do whatever you
That would be
wanted.
very different, right?
Yeah.
I love sci-fi.
Is there? I'm sorry, Miss Jenna. Like I said,
you guys are into beer.
we usually do a 20-minute segment, and we're just
Well, we're glad to be able to spend so much extra time.
Yeah, we
to get your opinion on things.
get your opinion on things, and
That's what the name of the podcast is.
opinions.
Opinions and beer.
That's why
Opinions and
we shed bad opinions and good opinions, but mostly bad.
Mostly bad. Yeah.
Mostly.
mostly bad ones.
It all leans to one side, but we try and diversify.
What so this is probably a weird question. It's away from film, but in France, because we never get any guests from France, and so
Yeah, you're our first one.
what's the outlook on America in France?
Oh, I can't imagine that it's good, but it'd be better to hear from her.
Oh, you mean from a filmmaker's point of view or in general? In general?
You can do both.
please.
I mean, from a filmmaker's point of view, I think America has been so inspiring because some of the best movies really were made there. And definitely the industry is extremely exciting. And there is so much you can do in America you could hardly do in Europe. Definitely, it's just very different, really. France is also so inspiring and it's just different. And I feel privileged that I actually could learn from both sides. But on America in general, I'm not quite sure. Like, really, I'm not quite sure at what is happening. I admire America for so much. I really think Americans can help a lot to change the world. Obviously, we mentioned climate change, for instance. Definitely, we really need everyone's help on that and everyone's take on that. So this is why I was mentioning what Leonardo DiCaprio and his foundation are doing to bring change in that, because I think their work is remarkable, and I really hope there will be more because it's very much needed. We really need all the support of the world to make change happen on that. So yeah, definitely.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
That was a very, very kind reaction. Thank you.
yeah,
I thought you were
thought,
going to say that we all smell like shit.
yeah, we thought like, oh, this damn America, F them. I hope they, I hope they melt off the face of the earth.
Melt off the face of the earth. Oh, Lord.
Not all the time. Not all the time. We don't always say to guys. No,
Not all the
all the
time.
time.
Oh,
Just when you're not there, we talk bad things about you. But
Okay.
I know how the French are.
As soon as the podcast is over, that's when
Nice,
I'll like
have
it.
you been to France? Have you at all or never yet?
Oh, I have not been to France yet.
No,
Yeah,
neither
you
have
should,
I.
especially with this great French. You can brush it up.
For sure.
Exactly.
Well, definitely. What was the
Thank
name
you
of
so
the
much,
location
guys.
Of where you filmed again? What was the name of it? Because I would definitely like to experience that at least once.
Oh, absolutely. So there was Paris, Saint-Tropez, the south of France, all around Saint-Tropez, Ramatuelle. This is how it's called.
Saint-Tropez. I'll definitely be there.
Incredible places for sure.
Oh well, one day.
Yeah, oh, you should come. You should come.
Yeah, definitely.
I will show you around. It's very magical.
Now, Miss Jenna, well, I guess we're nearing the end of the podcast.
What would you want to say? Is there any other projects that you would like to plug or talk about? Anything that we haven't discussed thus far?
Well, for now, I'm really gonna focus on finishing L'Âge d'Or and making sure it has the best release it can. Thank you so much again for mentioning Cowboys Can Fly. It's definitely in the pipeline, and I can't wait for this project to happen. I also feel thankful that I'm working for Cannes Series. I was working for them last year for the first edition of the Cannes Series Festival. So basically, it's the equivalent of Cannes Film Festival for series happening along MIP TV in April. So this year is the second edition. It's going to be very exciting. So yeah, please follow us on social media. It's called L'Âge d'Or Film. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and probably more. I can't even recall. But really, it's very exciting. It's amazing to get your feedback and comments. So thank you so much again for all of you who are already following us. And please feel free to come and spread the word of bringing change.
That's great. And thank you so much, Miss Jenna, for being on the show.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Merci.
We weren't on point tonight. we were exhausted.
You guys must be exhausted. It must be so late.
We're just a little exhausted. We can't be in our A game. We can't be on our A game all the time.
Speak for yourself.
Let's
don't judge me.
Don't judge you. I'm not judging you. Oh Lord.
Thank you so much, Miss Jenna. We're gonna make sure we're gonna post some of your Facebook links in the description when we post it.
Yeah. Make sure to send us the links that way that we can properly
follow and see when your film comes out. And your film name is it translates to the golden age, correct?
Exactly.
Oh,
and
okay.
Please let me know if you need a picture of me or anything, really, any info, any links. Let me know. On the social media pages. I can't wait for it to be released on Thursday. I'll be up for it.
Okay.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, Miss Jenna, have a good one.
À bientôt. Merci. Thank
Until
you.
next time.